This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, so today we are going to start with tenancy model. In a EC2, there is a concept called tenancy model. So let's go to this console and try to understand what exactly that is. So whenever you launch a particular instance, like I'm trying to launch one. So there is a field there. So let me just go quickly and show you so that you can understand. So let me go and then select. So you see over here there is a tenancy model. Tenancy, see tenancy. And over here there is three values: shared, dedicated, and dedicated. Okay. So you need to understand what this means because it impacts your pricing. Okay. So you need to understand this. So before tenancy model, let me give an example from the life. So suppose I am the bachelor. Okay, I can stay you can stay two ways. Either you can share a room apartment with other person and share the price of that room. So let's say there is $1,000 for one BHK and you two guys are there. So you are sharing $500, $500, correct? There is a one approach. Second approach is you are dedicatedly using for yourself. You are not sharing. You are using alone. So you have to pay $1,000. Tenancy model is that okay. So when you are launching a server, you have a shared scope. So you are telling that, hey, there is actual hardware that AWS has. I am going to use that hardware as a shared mode. So like you are the customer, your server will be on that hardware. I am the customer, different customer, my server will be also on the same hardware. So hardware will be shared among multiple customers. So that is called shared hardware instance. And then you have a dedicated means you do not want to share the hardware at all. You do not want to share the one BHK flat to anybody. You just want to use for yourself. So this is what tenancy model. Okay. Now let's go. You have some better idea now. So there is a three things. By default this is shared. If you are not doing anything, by default it goes shared, and it is a minimum cost because same hardware, same room has been used by multiple customer. Then you have a dedicated host and then dedicated instance. Okay, so let's go and understand one by one. So in a default instance run on a shared hardware, multiple customer, multiple client use the same hardware for their server. And in a dedicated host, that hardware on which your instance is running, nobody will use that. It is dedicatedly for you. Okay. Then dedicated instance same as dedicated host. There is no much difference. Okay. Now let's go and understand one by one. Dedicated host. So dedicated host is just a physical EC2 server, physical, okay, actual hardware. Okay. On top of that, your server is running. Okay. In this case, instance will not share the physical server. Remember that. So the question come why? Why we do not need to share? Because there are some compliance requirement, there are some security requirement. I will be taking just after it. So in a dedicated host, you have a complete control, like how the instance will be placed over the hardware. Okay. So like if you are sharing the room, you don't have a complete control. Okay. But if you have your own, you have a complete control over. Okay. The same way. Now, if you have a dedicated host, like you are using dedicated host for your server, then you have a direct access to physical socket, physical core of the hardware. Normally you are not aware about the physical socket and physical core of the hardware, but when you are using dedicated host, it will be direct access to this. More expensive than other instance type. It is a more expensive because you are booking the whole flat yourself, you are paying alone. So it is a more expensive. You do not have to use until unless there is a strict guideline from the customer. Okay. Normally it is used for compliance and regulatory requirement. So let me tell you, US military department going on the cloud, AWS cloud, and it all in a USA, all the defense slowly moving to cloud, Azure, Microsoft Azure cloud, AWS. So you must have heard that Azure won some contract of military, USA military and defense, right? So they are going. So obviously they will never share the hardware with the public, right? they will be telling that I will use hardware alone, nobody. So it is something compliance regulatory. Okay, you have a payment per host, so like a payment per flat. Okay, it doesn't care how many guys you are there, 2 3 4 5, I don't care. I just care per flat I will take this much. Okay, so payment per host, either you are running 2 instance, 4 instance, doesn't matter. Okay, so when you will use dedicated host, so dedicated host you will use for a compliance, you will use software with licensing model. So there are some software that need direct access to your hardware, or they charge per core. Like if you are using how many core of CPU you are using for your software, so they charge like that. So it is something BYOL, bring your own license model. People use dedicated host. Okay, so allowed to use your existing per socket, per core, or per VM software license. Okay, so there are some software like Oracle. I don't know right now how Oracle is charging, but previously Oracle used to charge how you are running that Oracle software. Okay, like how many core you are utilizing. Based on that they charge. Okay, so this is a complex scenario. Just be aware of it. There is no need to go in deep. Okay, normally people don't use it. Normally everybody use shared only.
But
Now
Sujit, cloud Oracle used to give a free, right? Like they used to give a free cloud. Still, they are offering free, right?
come again.
Oracle, as far as my understanding or as far as I know, Oracle always give a free cloud for X number of size. Is it correct? Or they used to charge?
uh, right now how they are charging I am not aware, but when I was in like first year of IT experience, so I was installing that, okay, for the company requirement, and they were charging per core, like CPU core. CPU has a core, it might be more technical to you. So CPU has a multiple core, 2 core CPU, 3 core CPU. So how many core of CPU you are using, accordingly they were charging. Okay, but right now how they are charging I don't know.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, but just be aware that there are some software in the market, not only Oracle but also lots of software that they charge like any antivirus. So they will charge you per laptop or a per computer you are running. So like 2 computer you can run this much charge, 4 computer this much charge. So think of that. Okay, okay, then come to EC2 storage. Now you know what is a server, how you launch a server, a little bit about the server, right? But server alone, a laptop without any storage, no, not in use, right? You need some storage for your server, like where you will install your operating system, where you will install your other software. So minimum, at the minimum, you need a storage to install operating system, at least on your laptop, right? The same way goes to server. Server needs some storage. Okay, so let's go and explore more in detail the storage that come with your EC2. There are numbers of storage on AWS, but I am talking about EC2 storage. Remember, there are multiple category of storage. Okay, but I am talking about server storage, EC2 storage. So there are two kinds of server storage for EC2. One is called elastic block storage, EBS, that is a persistent storage, and second is a instance store, temporary storage. So normally in your certification, in your daily work on AWS, elastic block storage will come into the picture. Instance store nobody use. It is just there to understand, and in an extreme situation you can utilize, but normally people don't use it. So your main focus and your energy should be toward EBS. Okay, so there is two kinds of storage. So EBS is a persistent storage. I'm just uh, giving more force there to understand. Persistent in a sense, once you store data on the EBS storage, even you stop the server, terminate the server, destroy the server, your data will be safe. So like, let me tell you, there is external hard drive that is attached with your laptop. Even you destroy your laptop, but external hard drive data will be there. Okay, it is not dependent on your laptop. The same way, EBS is a persistent. Your data will be there irrespective of what your server state is. Instant store is a temporary, so it is associated with your server. Server gone, storage gone. Okay, now let's go and elaborate one by one. So EBS, elastic block storage. Okay, so it is something like a network attached virtual storage for your server. So as I explained you have a laptop, you have an external hard drive. So you just attach through the wire, and you are working, you are transferring the data, you're taking in and out of external hard drive. Then you just plug out and you can attach to other one. And even your laptop destroyed, external hard drive is safe. The same way you can see that this is your server running. Okay, and then your EBS data stored, external hard disk. Think of an external hard disk that is attached to a network wire, network attached. Okay, so in a EBS there are two kinds of storage, normally root volume and data volume. I will explain what it is. So EBS is a network attached. Remember, think of external hard drive. Okay, so EBS is not associated directly with EC2, rather it is attached through the wire. That is the reason you can detach from server and attach to another server. Like uh, Khan has external hard disk. He can attach to his laptop or detach it, and you can give to Jahid, and Jahid can attach and detach also. So it is very much plug and play facility. Okay, so remember that EBS is a persistent storage. Now you are very much aware what that means. So even you stop your server, start your server, destroy your server, EBS data is there. Okay, that is why it is called EBS is independent of EC2 lifecycle. EC2 lifecycle means, what can EC2 lifecycle be? It can be starting, stopping, terminating, shutting down. All these are lifecycle. So EBS doesn't care. Okay, EBS is there. EBS volume is AG specific. It is a very crucial part, come in the exam and you need to aware. What is AG? AG is a data center, right? What this means that EBS storage and your server both should be the same data center to work together. Otherwise, it will not work. Okay, remember this is very crucial. Okay, so EBS volume.
Sujit, can you repeat the other part? EBS in persistence storage, that part?
Okay, so EBS volume and your server should be in the same data center. AZ means data center, availability zone. So both should be in the same data center to work. Then only you can attach and detach. I will show you practically, don't worry. Okay, so only attach to EC2 instance in the same availability zone. Okay, so EBS and EC2 must be in the same AG to work together. Remember, both should be in the same AG. If your EBS is another data center, server is another data center, it will not work. Okay, so I have told you lots of things. Okay, let's go and see some practical, and then I'll come to this theory. Then it will make sense to you. So see what I am going to do. I'm going to launch a server. Okay, so let's go add a storage. So in a storage, this is the EBS come into the picture. So this is your EBS over here. See, so this is your storage for your server you are taking. So one is the root, second is a EBS. So root is also EBS. Okay, this means it is a EBS. Okay, normally they called it root, and second is a EBS. So it is called root volume, it is called data volume. Okay, so that is why that is what I'm talking. EBS root volume main drive and EBS data volume. So this is a root volume and this is EBS volume. Okay, so root volume where your operating system will be installed. Okay, so on this, whatever operating system you have selected, like Linux, Windows, whatever, that will be installed over here. Okay, on this, and whatever